They say some players light up a field with magic. Others make the highlight reels with freakish tries, bone-rattling tackles, or big personalities. But then there are the quiet achievers, the ones who don't make headlines, but without them, your team doesn't win premierships. For the Broncos, Mick DeVere was exactly that man. Mr. Reliable. A bloke who never had a bad game, never had a great game, but always did his job. G'day legends, welcome back to the Old School Broncos podcast, where we dive deep into the players, the moments and the history that made the Brisbane Broncos the powerhouse club we all love. Today, we're talking about a man who embodied consistency, Mick DeVere, a goal-kicking outside back who turned a simple opportunity into a decade-long career, multiple premierships and one of the most famous origin moments of all time, having his head stapled mid-match. Mick DeVere didn't come through the flashy rugby league pathways. He wasn't the hotshot junior everyone was talking about. He was a Campbelltown junior in Sydney who worked hard but didn't have scouts beating down his door. Instead, DeVere wrote a letter to Wayne Bennett, literally asking for a chance. No guarantees, no hype, just an old school request for an opportunity. And Bennett, being the master of spotting character over hype, gave him a shot at the Broncos system. That says everything about Mick DeVere. He wasn't chasing headlines, he just wanted to play. By the late 90s, Broncos had a backline stacked with stars. Lockyer, Sailor, Renouf, Hancock. It wasn't an easy place for a young outside back to break through. But DeVere forced his way in because he did the basics better than anyone. He ran hard, tackled well, positioned himself perfectly in defence, and could slot a goal under pressure. Didn't have Sailor's flair or power, but he had consistency. And when you think about those great Broncos sides, that's exactly what you needed. A team of stars still needs its Mr. Dependable. DeVere became part of the Broncos machine. He played in the 97 Super League Grand Final, the inaugural NRL Grand Final in 98, and was part of that 2000 Premiership side that smashed the Roosters. Think about that for a second. 3 premiership rings achieved not by being the flashiest on the park, but by being the bloke your teammates knew they could trust every single week. One of the underrated things about Mick was his goal kicking. In an era where Lockyer wasn't always kicking and the Broncos experimented with different options, DeVere was the steady boot. He wasn't going to curl them from the sideline like Hazem El Masri, but he slotted the ones that mattered. And again, that word, Mr. Reliable. If there's one moment footy fans outside Brisbane remember Mick DeVere for, it's Origin 2003. Playing for New South Wales, he copped a cut to his head and instead of leaving the field, the team doctor literally stapled his head back together on the sideline. No anaesthetic, just bang, bang, bang with the staple gun. That image became iconic. It summed up DeVere perfectly. Tough as nails, not flashy, not complaining, just get the job done and get back out there. What made DeVere unique was that no one ever said, gee, Mick DeVere was the best player on the field today. But at the same time, no one ever said, gee, Mick DeVere had a shocker. He lived in the middle lane. And in rugby league, that is gold. Because while fans love the big plays, coaches love the guys who they know will deliver a 7 out of 10 every single week. Wayne Bennett built entire teams around that kind of reliability. By the time he retired from the NRL, Mick DeVere had racked up over 161 games for Brisbane, 3 premierships, 5 Origin games and 4 tests for Australia. He wasn't the kind of player who demanded attention, but he was the glue guy, one of those blokes every great team needs. Ask any Broncos fan and they'll tell you he was the definition of a club man. Fans had a soft spot for Mick. He wasn't the poster boy, but people loved that he'd just get on with it. He even copped a bit of cheeky praise for being the most average goal kicker ever. But even then, he still nailed enough to win games. He had an average of 76.62%. Now that's pretty good. And who could forget the pub chat about the Broncos always having a star winger paired with the safe one? DeVere fit that mould perfectly. Sailor on one side, DeVere on the other. Always the balance. So when you think about Mick de Vere, don't think about the magic tries or the big headlines. Think about reliability. Think about toughness. Think about the bloke who wrote a letter to Wayne Bennett, got his shot, and ended up winning premierships and becoming an Origin hero. Not bad for a Mr. Consistent. And that's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, make sure to hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a mate who remembers Mick de Vere stapling his head on live TV. Because at the end of the day, footy's not just about the stars, it's about the blokes like de Vere who held it all together. This is the Old School Broncos podcast. Let's go, Broncos.